It's been a pretty quiet weekend overall. Huge drop in terms of volume for the crypto market, huge drop in volume in terms of ADA, but yet we're printing some green. And what it shows you is that when things have quieted down and we're seeing less of the wash trading, the big movement in the market is still accumulation. And there's actually a strange phenomenon going on for ADA right now that I want to talk about with you guys. This is very exciting, but I also want to highlight just how good this week, in fact, was, something that is remaining consistent in the crypto market. A few updates from the Cardano ecosystem as well. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this is now 2 straight days that we have closed green in terms of ADA, and it looks like we're starting to flip things around. Obviously, there's no guarantees. This isn't financial advice. Nobody knows what's going to happen for sure in the future or anything like that, but we can see we're building just a little bit around the crypto market today. A lot of green in the space. Just to give you guys kind of an idea of where we're at right now, over the last 24 hours, we've only seen $120 billion in daily trading volume, so we've seen almost a 50% decrease from what we saw on Friday. Not really surprising. You know, the market, like I've talked about in my video yesterday, is just anticipating what can come this week on the big news surrounding the FOMC meeting, the Q2 GDP report, the PCE report, the White House crypto report. So there's a lot of things that everybody just needs to be essentially prepared for as we get into a pretty big and likely volatile week. Now, that being said, ADA actually has a very strange phenomenon going on. So we actually did today create a bullish cross on our daily stochastic RSI. So this is a pretty big deal because, like we've talked about before, this has led us to many pumps in the past, okay? But the strange phenomenon that we're seeing is on the hourly, the 4-hour, the 12-hour, the daily, the weekly, the 2-week, and the monthly. We are bullish on every single one of these, which I find it kind of strange that some people are bearish when this is taking place, because guys, this is a pretty big deal. This is a big confidence boost for what we're seeing in the charts right now. And it's, again, kind of giving us as confirmation that we are following that Wyckoff accumulation model, meaning that we could, in fact, have some chop in here before we get this extension, right? Don't have to do that for very long, but we'll see what the overall trend is in the crypto market. But what I find interesting is when we look around the crypto space, on the daily charts, we're seeing these bullish stochastic RSI crosses on basically every single chart. Almost every single asset has once again flipped bullish. So it's sure looking like the bears lost. It's sure looking like the shorts are about to get crushed. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to happen for sure. And I'm really hoping for no negative news on low volume days, because that always sucks. That always causes retail to do a little bit of capitulating. But that's definitely something to pay attention to. Now, BTC dominance, again, despite those 2 green days, just continues to crater back to the downside. So this almost looks like a little bit of a dead cat bounce and then an extension back to lower lows, which would be a great sign. We might even hit some of the lowest lows we've seen since all the way back in February. All right, so that's pretty cool. Now, that being said, we are doing something else that we haven't seen since March, which I'll talk about in just a moment here. But Angry Crypto Show posted this yesterday, that Canada's oldest digital asset custodian, who is Balance, announces a partnership with Midnight to unlock institutional adoption by delivering secure, compliant infrastructure with a focus on privacy, predictability, and usability. So that's a pretty big deal. And I actually had a question, kind of a snarky question, come up from a viewer yesterday saying, yeah, what institutions are actually buying ADA? Well, Grayscale, for one. It's in multiple of their basket funds that they have. It's in 2 out of 4. They have a proposal, or not a proposal, they have a filing for an ADA spot ETF. There are other institutions around the world that actually hold ADA as well. So although some people think that there's nothing going on with ADA on an institutional sense, that's completely wrong. We've talked about this for a very long period of time now, and this is only going to accelerate, again, because it's a US-based crypto. It has huge interest from governments and enterprises around the world. This is basically like BTC and Ethereum before everybody knew what the hell was going on. Hopefully that makes sense for people. Okay. Now, that being said, I did want to point to the fact that we are now about to close the largest week of supply removal from exchanges we have seen since all the way back in March. So that's a pretty big deal. Things have, in fact, been ascending. Take a look at this, right? It's almost like a a right angle broadening descending wedge, but it's not what it is. But you guys can see that these weeks have been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. In fact, this week we saw almost $80 million worth of ADA removed from exchanges. Guys, supply is getting so thin, and again, I keep saying I'm going to do it, but one of these days I'm going to go and actually do the math across all of this. It's going to take me probably an hour to do, but I should be able to actually pinpoint roughly how much ADA has been removed from exchanges, even since last market cycle. And it's going to be a pretty big number. All right. So that's where we're at. Again, we just crossed 83 cents. That's a great sign. We actually did set a higher high than the prior day on today's daily candle. So it's looking like we are starting to build a little momentum, and hopefully that can carry us through the weekend here. Again, just want to show you guys, longs are still open, not doing anything with those right now. ADA is up 530%. XRP is actually up 88%. SHIB's up 170% right now. And actually my algo long, I think, is up, what was it, like 70%. So again, if you guys want to check out BTCC or Margex, or referral links in the description below. Again, if you want to trade on leverage, just understand that there is risk that comes with that. You can, however, earn up to $10,000 in deposit and trading bonuses. So feel free to check those out if you guys would like. But let me know your thoughts. How do you think we're going to get through the weekend? What do you think is going to come this week? Do we have some green? Do we have some red ahead of us? But have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.